There's a new 7-seater on the market. It's the Lexus RX 350L, and it's in the same category as an Audi Q7 and a Land Rover Discovery. Lexus has gone all out with this car, and I've had a fairly seamless time driving it. I was in the luxury model, which is second from the top of the range. Want to know why I had such a good time driving it over 7 days of testing? Come with me. It's all about the silence. The RX 350L is so quiet, and I don't know if you've been a parent for very long, but after a few years you just crave silence. This engine is so quiet and so smooth, I can barely feel bumps as I go over them. It's like you're in a big airy bubble that's rolling along without an engine. But of course there is an engine, a big 3.5 litre one at that, so it speeds up as soon as you need it to, and it has loads of power to get you up hills really quickly. I feel confident enough to take it on long trips because, for one, it's sizable, so I feel safe in it, but two, it's got great handling and I feel like it's going to be able to do things like overtake really easily. The steering is on point and I felt really good in this car this week. I had no qualms driving it. Parking is good because even though it's a big car and you have to choose your parking spots wisely, once you know you'll fit, you've got a reverse parking camera to help you out, plus front and rear collision warnings. And the car looks good. It's quite long, not super high, so you won't have any anxiety about fitting into the height requirement for car parks. It's sleek and refined and it looks elegant. The interiors are just as stylish. There's a leather steering wheel which feels beautiful under the hands, and I always think that makes for a lovely driving experience. The seats are leather, plus they are heated and cooling, which in this year's freezing winter brought me so much joy. The center console area is really nicely designed, and there's even a vegan leather dash which totally fooled me, and it feels so luxurious. You've got dual zone air conditioning, and the electronic park brake actually goes on and off automatically, which sounds like a really small thing, but is one of life's little pleasures. Plus, the driver's seat goes into position automatically, and it has memory so that when you get back into the seat, it goes back into your position. There's a decent sized center storage bin, plus a spot to charge your phone. We've got 2 cup holders here, and we've got a bottle holder in each door. But let's go to the third row because that's why you're looking at this car. And one of the best bits is that you've got power operated access to the third row, which is a bit of a novelty. And once you're in here, there is enough space. I wouldn't say there's a lot of space. I'm 161 centimeters and I can fit in here perfectly fine, but I don't think tall people would have a very good time in here. Kids, no problem. You can actually slide the second row forward to give the third row more room too, which helps. Back here, you've also got your own aircon controls and air vents, plus 2 cup holders. The second row is also spacious, and I've actually pushed this seat all the way forward because you'll need to give people space in the back row, and I've still got a fair amount of room. My children, aged 4 and 6, had loads of space in here and were perfectly happy. You'll even be able to get a third child seat in here if you need to, and there are 2 cup holders in the center armrest. The front has loads of airy room here, and even my 185 centimeter husband had heaps of space to recline back in his relaxed driving position, and I think the airiness of the cabin just reinforces that luxe factor. But here's where I find the Lexus tricky in the tech. There's an 8-inch multimedia screen which you can connect via Bluetooth with your phone, so you can access everything like the inbuilt sat nav and you can play your music through it. There's no Apple CarPlay, but I think what's bothering me more is this control down here. It just takes a little while to get used to. I did finally, I wouldn't say mastered it, I got used to it by the end of the week, and I'm sure that with more driving I would get even more used to it, but it's just a bit tricky to use. The sound system is pretty great though, and I had a good time this week turning the music up for a good sing along. The boot has a good amount of space for a growing family. With 7 seats in play, you'll actually get a really decent amount of space, more than I was expecting. I was able to fit a full load of groceries. You'll fit school bags or maybe a few small suitcases. With 5 seats in play, the boot really opens up and you can fit in most things that a family would need. And with all seats down, it's big enough to fit a bed in. The safety in the Lexus RX 350L is great, especially for a 7-seater. It's got 10 airbags, including side curtain airbags that extend all the way to the back row, but also side airbags for the middle row, which I find really excellent for a family. Plus, you'll also get, as standard, all the latest new safety technology like auto emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, lane assist, and recross traffic alerts. I found the Lexus RX 350 such a pleasant car to drive this week. I loved having so much space in every row, and the large boot really worked for my family. It drives beautifully, and I felt completely confident on the road, especially in this awful rainy weather we've been having. I gave it a family rating of 8.5 out of 10, and my children also gave it an 8.5. They love having a spare row to transport their friends around. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel or click through to our website.